the cheapest way to get onto the AM5 platform in 2025 that actually makes sense. So first up, we've got a Ryzen 5 7500F for just £108 on AliExpress. Now, you might find the 8400F cheaper. However, the 7500F gives way better CPU performance due to the higher clock speeds and double the level 3 cache. And it tends to be much better value, and that's why I didn't go for the 8400F. Now, I don't believe you should be getting 16 gigabytes of RAM in 2025 on the AM5 platform. Therefore, we picked up the Corsair Vengeance DDR5 2x16 gigabytes kit, clocked at 6400 mega transfers. Picked it up for $79.92. Now, you don't need RAM to be this fast, but aim for at least 6,000 mega transfers, as it is the sweet spot for AMD CPUs. And finally, the motherboard, which cost me £66.61. This is the Jingwei B650i Night Devil. While this brand isn't a household name, apparently it is quite popular in China, so there you have it. The motherboard itself doesn't have all the bells and whistles, and it is an ITX board, so super basic. However, it still offers everything that we need. So on the board itself, you'll find some 5V ARGB pins, DDR5 RAM slots, and a single Gen 4 PCIe NVMe SSD slot, and even the USB-C slot, so you can actually plug in the USB cable from your case. So there you have it. The total of this build came to £255.17. Now that's an incredible price for a modern, future-proof AM5 foundation in 2025. Obviously, if you really wanted to, you can make some optimizations and bring that cost down a little bit. Also, bear in mind that this is all new parts. If you do go hunting for some used parts, you can definitely pick up RAM cheaper than I've paid, and also the CPU as well as the motherboard if you do a bit of deal hunting. However, this is all brand new parts, and that was just sort of the goal and the idea there. Obviously, like I said, you can cut some corners, you can go for a cheaper CPU, you can go for slower RAM if that's your thing. However, I think that this build here is very sensible and it just makes sense, and you will not have any issues playing modern games. Now, if you're not too worried about future proofing or you have a super strict budget, then definitely consider the AM4 platform, as it still offers excellent value and price to performance with many different configurations. Boys, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you can, drop me a follow, and hopefully we'll be putting this configuration here in a build soon. And yeah, stay tuned.